Sometimes a commitment to the path is a commitment to a very simple question. How do I feel? How often do we ask this? And how do we ask this? How do I feel? How do you feel? Well, just a week ago, before the public demo week, Khan was asking me, are you anxious, Jace? And I'm like, no. I think Khan is always trying to catch me like in a state of disarray or hoping that I would be afraid of something mm, or catching me in doubt, I guess. Not that he doubts me or he wants me to be embarrassing myself. Mm, but I think he knows that sometimes I don't feel myself. And for the most part, I think mm, I'm pretty Singaporean. I try to focus on the task, like the job gets done. What do you want? As long as the job is done. It doesn't help that I also hate it when I do start to feel something. Oh shit, anxiety coming up. Like even now, I could sense like the pounding of my heart, like this shimmering feeling in my skin, and almost like the hair on my scalp is just standing slightly on end. Contact. How do you feel? You don't even need to like be in a hurry to close your eyes or anything. Just mm, taking in raw. Don't be in a hurry to go to some meditative state. Just be here with this piece of mess sometimes. Maybe there's tiredness, pain, or tension, or maybe there's nothing. Who knows? But just this very normal, raw piece of flesh as human. No bypassing, just contact. Notice even if there's this subtle sense of, what's this about? No, this isn't anything. No jhanas, no absorption, no samadhi. This is plain old life. Or even that sense of no escape. And then notice what it feels like to be able to gather your attention towards your breath, or this breath just constantly happening, regardless of your doing. What does it mean to just shift or rest that attention upon it? Not needing to change anything. It may change on its own. And the breath doesn't need to change or shift anything that you felt in contact. Tiredness could still be there. Whatever tension or pain you might feel might still be there. Anything. This body is still there. Just allowing the breath to be with whatever is here, coming as you are with the breath. And sometimes as we sit longer in silence, we begin to see habits, patterns. Maybe we forget what the breath is, and the thinking goes into some sort of proliferation. The body starts to feel uncomfortable. Sometimes the mind goes into thinking. You start to think about the questions to ask about in the discussion later. Should it be this? Should it be that? Is this the right way? Maybe I'm doing it wrong. And despite that, do we have the fitness to hold a sort of observation for these so-called distractions, or what we have labeled as distractions? Or can we just be able to see the natural coming and going of these thoughts or sensations or feelings? You know you exist, which means you have a body. The body feels. Or you have a mind that thinks. Just as the heart would beat or the lungs would breathe, would you ask your heart to stop beating? Or would you ask your lungs to stop breathing? Leaving is movement. What you feel, whatever you feel, is movement. And also, you ask then, how do we, or how does the distraction lessen? How do I get it to stop if I don't want to try to stop it? And we're saying, "Hmm, you rest." And even in the most immense chaos, maybe just, I don't know, faster or more jumpy movements or whatever that might be. What does it mean to rest? Resting in your restlessness. How paradoxical. Or is it a paradox? I was closely watching my anxiety maybe an hour before. Mm. That habitually, of course, is hoping that the anxiety would go away. Or even trying to close my eyes, breathe. I'm wondering if any of you do that. As you breathe, you're hoping that the tension, the pain will go away with the breath. And that is a habitual loop. And in the boot camp, I actually tell people, oh, you're feeling this, you're feeling fear, you're feeling anxiety. Why not take it up one notch? Intensify it, feel it more. You notice all the thoughts sometimes they might come with certain intense emotions that we might feel. Either we try to soothe it or calm it, or maybe we pretend that we don't care. So in my anxiety, I tell myself, I'm fucking scared. And for goodness sake, they put me as the last one. What the heck? And then every single instructor did a great job. Now I have to be competitive. What the fuck? And can I even admit that I am competitive? Because a part of me does want to be the calm, still, I don't know, whatever people expect of a CC instructor. I used to be a mindfulness teacher. Do we allow ourselves to see what is going on as it is? And then there will be a part of me that goes like, you know what? It doesn't really matter if I fuck it up. Like, just a small moment out of a whole life. Hmm. Kind of feel like avoidance, I think. Because out of all this fear and anxiety, a part of me wants to do this perfectly, wants to do it right. So there's nothing wrong with having these thoughts. Because I was just saying that we will have these thoughts, right or wrong. I want this, I don't want this. But the fitness lies in holding these desires without grasping. And that to fear, but also to want, there's no contradiction. And in fact, when I allow myself to hold both that fear and also that want to do things great, I sense this very palpable excitement. And I guess that's what athletes say, like actually anxiety is no different from excitement. But it's not a thinking exercise. At least it's not just a thinking exercise. And very much being able to feel, being able to hold without collapse, holding that tension without collapse is fitness. And where does fitness come from? We train. Very simple, actually. And every time we pause and make contact, it's a sort of fitness. We're putting in the reps. And if we were practicing with the breath, you drift away and come back. That's a rep. And so if you are distracted 1,000 times, you practice coming back 1,000 times. In fact, you should congratulate yourself for noticing that you've drifted away. And each time you're able to sit here feeling pain or sadness, grief, anger, frustration, lifting weights, no different. And now, most ironic of all is that it probably takes the most fitness to rest. And it could be just as simple as taking a slow, deep breath in and a long, slow breath out. Our sits, our practice is our life. And every time we make contact, we're practicing how to be accountable. This is what I'm feeling. No one else is responsible. I am accountable. I decide. And whatever thing you choose to sit with, sometimes we do breath practice, sometimes we do body scan. Just being able to hold attention to what is here and not leaving, not going away, not running away. It's endurance. And it's also courage. And basically, resting basically is a tremendous amount of love and compassion for this. That's what resting is. So let us sit, not sitting with silence, or sitting with life. I think many of us might have found our way into CC. Like there's a curiosity about emptiness or self-emptiness. But for many of us in the team on the path, that we will learn that anatta or self-emptiness actually is just a beginning. So it's like when you truly see or understand emptiness, is actually when your life truly begins. Because it's not that everything is nothing, but then when we understand emptiness, we're not afraid to leave anymore. We can go to the extremes, and the mundane is also full. There's nothing complicated about it. Even all that we have gone through from day one to now, the entire process, so simple. It's just teaching us how to begin to live. We're very conditioned to want answers. We want to know what or where the finishing point is. And I understand that. It's the same as me just wanting to get the job done. And there's nothing wrong with that. To live is also to want to accomplish. But that's just one aspect. And I think to sit and to practice in the way we do, to contemplate in the way that we do, we are creating that sort of fitness to be. Hmm, I think I used to harp about radical honesty in the past. Like, think for a huge part, there is a lot of honesty needed when we come to face ourselves. And maybe I will coin something else today, is that we want to be radically flexible. think also Dzongsa Rinpoche says that samsara is just a habit. And in a way, we have a lot of habits. There's nothing wrong with having habits. But I think the two have the skill to constantly build new skills and keep expanding. Well, you can say that as expanding our range of habits in a way that they are boundless and of infinite potential, rather than be limited by one or two habits. And so, us wanting to know what's the solution, how to do something, striving, it's just one habit. It basically just is useful in something, but it's not so useful when we want to cultivate fitness to be in doubt and confusion, for example. And basically, also pulling us away from realization, enlightenment, because very much mm, inconceivable. So if you say you want enlightenment, you want realization, and the skill to be fit enough to be with confusion and doubt is essential. Again, one of those things that we harp about and do a lot in the boot camp. And so if you're still in a sit, maybe gradually begin to come back and reconnect with life, with the mundane. Nor even if you're full of confusion and doubt, there's the right space to be in, putting in the reps. Mm. I think when I first joined CC, I was quite jaded, just practicing for myself for a long, long time, not knowing where is the finishing point. And I don't know where to find the aspiration to keep going because I don't know where I'm going. Um, and then here, sitting here, just looking at a lot of faces, including the team that I've grown to love very, very much, and just consider myself really lucky to be doing this not alone, but yeah, being able to find people on this path is not easy. Yep. So regardless of whether you guys are heading into the boot camp or not, Wishing you a lot of wisdom and mm, and love to just endure this very long path, heading into discussion.
So once again, let's have some time to finish the poll question. Today is quite a reflective poll. We have first question is how efficiently we are accomplishing the different cluster of um, instructions. With day one, we're saying contact, coming as we are, just allowing the direct experience to be there. And once that is the case, day two, with Albert guiding, can you gather these experiences with the breath, gather gather these feelings, emotional states, not to change them, not to alter them, not to squeeze, to annihilate them, but just to gather and reassociate and reconnect. And day three, building on the theme of reassociation, now the cluster of instruction is all surrounding the one word observe. Can you notice? Can you see the pattern? Do you have the lucidity and the concentration to stay connected to your very own emotional states and narratives and what does it means? And day four, now we are asked to then, the cluster of instruction is to rest. So you see how you fix meanings on things and you are fixated on such meanings, which are your own creation. Meaning of yourself, meaning of your what it means to be you, what's going on, what would be a good instruction, what would be a good sit, all those things. And day five is can you recognize all of this process that's going on and how there is really no different and it is inseparable between practice and life. So instead of trying to get to some place that is still, that is idealized, we just recognize our very life and whatever that means. That could be, in the case of Jace, holding the attention of 40 something people, pinning their attention on her that comes with anxiety and just staying with it and just allowing the version of yourself that is anxious to be anxious, to be afraid, to pump it up even more. And all of these is interconnected steps. And contact, gather, observe, rest, recognize is really in every sit as well, in every moment. We're contacting each other right now. You're gathering your reflection to make this, um, to do this poll. You're observing your own thoughts. Yeah. But usually we don't do the rest and recognize in our life, right? We try to make contact. We try to gather, try to observe, but doesn't know that we just constantly stuck in our fixation. Yeah. So second question then, how difficult it is for you to integrate practice with life? 0 being very challenging, 10 being life is practice. Um, yeah, to see like, because a lot of us come from background where, or maybe at right now at this point of the path for us, we are still looking to build a strong meditation, and we see that to be on the cushion with a certain posture, with a certain kind of territory of absorption that you want to hit, and that's fine. Like we're not saying that, oh, 0 or 1 or 2 is like bad. It's fine. Then we see, like, okay, if it's very challenging, like Jace was saying, to even be with your life, you got distracted 1,000 times in a session, and that's congratulate to ourselves, right? Now we have the resilience to endure and keep coming back 1,000 times. Not a problem in that way. Then the third question, before the public practice week, how would you rate yourself with 0 being the side of I just need the right pointing to realization, and 10 being I just need to train the muscles that are yet fit. And then question number 4 is after the public practice week, how you rate yourself given the same kind of measurement. And last question, perhaps the reflection to tie things up to 5 days in terms of the training is what would be a key virtue I need to cultivate after noticing my patterns for the week. It could be patience, it could be compassion, it could be humility. Yeah. So one of the things that I'm starting to notice is the uh, before my previous week, there is a couple of option of 0, 1, and there was no option of 10. After, it seems like there's a couple 10 and 9, and no longer any 1, or no longer any 0. That's interesting. So, okay, I'll share it for you guys as well. So, guys, how was that for you guys? This probably also be the first time that even our team members sit within Jay's transmission, right? I mean, we did rehearse a little bit yesterday, but it was not the full thing.
It was it was really powerful for me. Uh, when Jace was warming up with the speech, it was like I was witnessing a storm right by like a beachside, like the waters, the waves, like it was just this approaching incredible like force of nature. And once we kind of transition into the silent portion, so interesting how it quickly just shifted to complete stillness of the ocean, like the sort of two sides of the immense power of the ocean. You know, one being just like the turbulence and the waves and a lot of energetics. The breath too. You know, it's interesting how deep the breath was. It was just very sort of like something took over. You know, the breath. But the yeah, from warm up to the main sit, it was sort of the two extremes, if you will, of kind of this ocean-like quality. So very yeah, powerful sit for
Mm.
me.
I found it very relatable, and what I've been contending with a lot this year is just noticing all the times that I reject these emotions or sensations like anxiety or fear or things that I determine are bad. And there's a subtle like desire to meditate so that they will go away. And realizing this here that it's more about accepting rest. I used to relate to rest as I should get rid of all this stuff and there should be nothing, and that's what resting is.
Right.
And coming to realize that resting is actually just being okay with whatever is there. So that was really present in this meditation. I really like to the pointer of just congratulate yourself when you kind of wander and come back, because I think that was something I was still making myself wrong for a lot. And today, every time I would come back, I would say to myself, "Oh, congratulations!" So that was a good pointer.
Yeah. On my side, I think that listening to and sitting in Jay's transmission today, yeah, it's like I started I said in the beginning of the week, I really look forward to sit in on the other instructors session to see different flavors and to see how it shows up in the way they build a space and build a container for people to join in. And when Jace was sharing this, it actually reminds me of, one of the way I see how transmission works is at times it doesn't even matter what she's saying. Of course, that there's a huge component of that, but it's similar to some of it is like, that kind of when you were 12 and you have a sleepover with your best friend and you just talk about whatever. And then that feels amazingly warm and intimate and nourishing. Or when you were 7 and you couldn't really sleep at night and your mom go to you and like read you a bedtime story. You don't care about what was really the story. It's just like there, but you can't affect that kind of relationship, right? It's either that you feel it or you don't. Yeah. And once you make that kind of contact and connection and allowing yourself to be intimate, right? Then what she's saying hits in a whole new level. But then also now the texture and all those things of being intimate and being warm also has all these kind of qualities and dimensions. That's now the cognitive has a place to land with the emotional, with the affective. So then it weaves together and create this vehicle. And similarly, like how you were held, how you were feeling that you could be yourself in those moments, even when you're afraid at 7, even when you feel like all this awkward and curiosity and inspiration, and you can't stop thinking about certain thing, but it's your best friend and it's chilling, and even 1 a.m. the parents ask you guys to sleep, but you pull a blanket over your head and you just keep talking. It doesn't matter. It's like it's just you can just be yourself. Well, yeah, like more less PG-13 is like when you grow older and like you have amazing sex and you just do pillow talk. You can speak about whatever. You just cuddle. That's what transmission feels like when we own those like from like own those range. But you can't fake that relationship, right? It's either that you feel that or you don't. And do you want to feel that? Because then it's about building a relationship. Because for example, the difference would be like, yeah, like sure, somebody can watch this recording, but I mean, if they go at it in the case of like, okay, what should we talk about? Where's the instruction? Where's the part that I can apply for myself? Yeah. It would be like we're seven, we are afraid, and hearing our mom telling a story to calm us down. I'm like, what's the point of the story that can calm me down? Task oriented, right? Like fixated. Mom, can you get to the point that is calming?
Yeah, I was having an experience with as soon as I started to sit with Jace, where it felt like, you're the first time that you've ever loved somebody and you're taking all your clothes off and you're like
Yeah.
looking at each other. So it felt like a virgin and like, do you know what I mean? Like that kind of like palpable intimacy, anticipation, sort of. Mm, but like you're saying, that the the shape-shifting quality of that kind of intimacy was changing all throughout the sit. One point,
Yeah.
it being more like motherly
Mm.
or like a friend or a
Yeah.
sister or a father. Yeah. And like a falling
It's
into
one of
love.
the.
Mm.
Yeah. Go ahead, Frank.
I was just gonna follow up on that, and also the part about fitness. It's love is actually also a fitness because in each moment you have a choice to love.
Yeah.
Especially in a relationship, it's like sometimes it's a lot, right? But then it's like you have the fitness to not just rest and recognize, but to love, which is the same thing.
Yeah. To lean in, right? When even you don't
Yeah, lean
feel
in.
like you're tired
Yeah,
and maybe
or
you
have
feel the
doubts,
hatred,
whatever. Yeah, time. Yeah,
doubts, restlessness.
everything. Yeah. Yeah. It's not a paradox. You can rest as restlessness because there is when resting and recognizing are really taken to its endpoint, it closes the loop. So resting is recognizing. And then you can actually there's knowing that's beyond but includes the observer. There's a resting that's includes but is beyond restlessness.
Mm.
Yeah, even when you're asked to observe patterns, it's like, oh, whatever you think you're observing through as like an observer, you can there's knowing of even that as a permanent pattern. Even the observer is a shape shifting pattern, and it's knowing, it's knowing, it's already recognizing. It's recognizing whether or not you think there is an observer. It's rested, or whether or not you think you've been restless or resting. I, when I say knowing here, I just mean presence.
I think yeah, there's sometimes that we need to tease out the terminology a bit, but I think I would Chaktung Rinpoche talks a lot about the difference between knowledge and wisdom, right? Like knowing and recognition.
Yeah. It's kind of cool, like how Jace kind of concluded everything in a very simple way. It really feels like there's a fruition, like we're hitting fruition, but it's ironic, it's just literally coming as we are. Very simple, isn't it?
Yeah, very straightforward.
Yeah. Just being here, what's going on. It's very beautiful. Hmm.
Any of you guys here want to share as well?
Hmm?
I'm curious to hear from Spar, actually. Okay, actually, Thomas, since you have your hand raised, but Spar, if you want to share later, feel free to hop in. Because then I'm going through.
Yeah. So I would say that
Please
But
wait for
yeah, like yeah, we'd like to hear from you, but also raise your hand. Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Sorry,
yeah.
Thomas. Thomas.
Thank
I'd
you.
like to hear from you too. How's you since day one?
Yeah, I'd like to say first about this sit. There was something that I felt that I really didn't have access in a way that happened today with the idea of making the emotion stronger. And for me, it was like turning a volume knob, like not creating like verbal thoughts, but a visual thought of turning a volume knob up. And a very overwhelming emotion that felt like it's not possible to be with that. It's not possible to feel that suddenly shifted in a way that I don't know what dropped off. Definitely suffering dropped off, a lot of suffering and resistance. But doing that made it really possible to feel, to be with those sensations that there was a strong belief built that I couldn't do that. So that was really, really empowering, really awesome. And also yesterday's sit was very, very powerful for me, very good. So I struggled a lot in the first day and a little bit in the second and also a lot in the third. So it's really interesting these different aspects that each day is bringing up. And this day felt most important for me, what I learned here. I want to share that. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the observing the pattern too. Is not just your own pattern in a particular sit. It's like how does the pattern play out day to day, face to face, microcosm to macrocosm, back again.
Yeah.
Seeing
And
the cycle of
like we
contraction
said
and
at the beginning,
expansion.
yeah.
Mm.
Like we said at the beginning of the week, right? Like we're setting out a game plan that all the instructors would work together to weave 5 days into continuous experience. And some of us would have different flavors, but it's within the cohesive trajectories of taking us through these absorption cycle. Because like this 5 steps is like we're saying it's an absorption cycle. And of course, just 1 week is still just a little bit. But I mean, Frank and I have been doing this pretty much weekly since September last year. Yeah, so it's been well over the year. I'm just constantly doing this. Oh, got a lot of hands raised, but thank you, Thomas. I'm glad to seeing a lot of fruits coming for you as well. Yeah, I hope to see you tomorrow in the review where we can talk more about how to make this path and practice sustainable moving forward. Okay, hey Spot.
Hello. So for me, it's cool to hear that people had very good experiences. Um, but I think, I don't know, again, maybe I just can't be aware of it. But um, yeah, I'm not sure what it means to fully take in a transmission. And like I was trying to follow through and observe my thoughts and kind of feeling in my body. Um, and I think even like today, I was actually, I think I got caught up in my thoughts of like I am a coach for parkour, and there was an event yesterday where um, another coach needed to be confronted about their lack of quality in their coaching. So that's the thought that came in my mind, and I think I was got caught up in that. And I wonder if I'm pretty stuck in my identity to fully be able to receive the the transmissions that the instructors here give. And maybe there's some truth to me having to live out more before um, I don't know, maybe I need to reach the point of suffering more to like seek it in a more authentic way. Um, but I will say generally I felt more present in my day-to-day life, and that has been good to have. I feel like things have flowed better than it usually does. But that has been my general experience of the week, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You got any videos of you doing parkour?
Yeah, I do. It's in my
Oh,
Instagram account.
Yeah, plug your
oh,
Instagram.
cool.
I'll shout you
I'll
out
check
on
it out.
CC.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Have you
thank
ever
you.
heard me? Thank you,
Sorry?
Spark. Have you ever heard me describe doing this mind training as parkour of consciousness, like parkour of the mind? Like
No, I
you have
haven't.
to
I would
kind
love
of
to.
maneuver through the obstacles of life, of mind. Yeah, we used to call this like parkour of mind, parkour of consciousness, or like MMA of the mind.
Gotcha. Is this in one of the podcasts?
No, before you just kind of say that it's a
Yeah,
way
it's
to
an
make it
ongoing.
sound cool,
Yeah.
to make it
Yeah.
sound to relate the fitness part to the mind training, to the
Yeah.
realization.
Yeah. That's a cool way to look at it.
But it is also very similar, right? I mean, Frank in day three also talk about how as we are going through 1 hour, it's also like clearing obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. It's like, how do we maneuver? What's the right move? Do we breathe? Do we remember our intention? Do we just relax? Do we actually intensify, concentrate more?
Yeah.
But I think Spa, like based on your sharing, for example,
Mm-hmm.
today sitting and you know that there is a potential confrontation or a difficult conversation that's about to be had.
Mm-hmm.
That's have stress, right? Like that put a sort of stress on us, and then we're starting to see that, oh, okay, I need to do that, and it makes me feel uneasy.
Mm-hmm.
In that way, a lot of the training is to keep going into those territories,
Mm-hmm.
feeling what needs to be done, what we are accountable and responsible for, and then just keep going at it. So in that way, yeah, the vulnerability for us to feel that stress and do something about it is precisely the point.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like to be present is even to be not ignorant, right?
Yeah.
Not ignorant of our responsibilities, not ignorant of what we have to do. So then in that way, yeah, that's not really the type of getting lost in thought where we're just daydreaming or just avoiding and just trying to escape. No, that's you
Mm-hmm.
taking responsibility for your duties, right? Like I'm a coach, you're a coach. We need to do this better.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I feel like definitely I was able to have more clarity on what I want my goals to be as well. So I really appreciate this public week from all of you. I'll say I don't know if this is partly because of the transmission after Albert's session, but when I was intimate with my girlfriend later that day, it was extra sensual. So I don't know if it's because of the transmission, but
Sorry.
yeah, but I really appreciate this public week.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Yeah. Thank you, Spa. I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hope to see you tomorrow as well on the
Yep.
review.
I'll be there.
Yeah. Oh, just real quick before we move to Ibrahim. But tomorrow we're gonna have, so usually we train early in the weekday from Monday to Friday because we want to set this up in a way that you start this on in the way you start your day, and then um, you have the rest of the day. But on Saturday, it's more of a chill kind of a space. We don't sit with each other, but we come and connect and we sync up our understanding. So that start at 10 a.m., not 7, right? So you have more time to sleep and just chill out and then get ready and then join that. So 10 a.m., not 7, just double checking that. Yeah. But okay, Ibrahim as well. How are you doing, sir?
Hi, you're right. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. This week has been very interesting. Your sit at the start really affected me, gotta say. Gave me lots of energy for like the next 2 days, so but it seemed to get tougher as the week went on. And yeah, it has benefited me though, even though the sits were tough. Like I've been able to be a lot more present with the people in my life. You know, actually taking time to listen to each one of you transmit. That's really it's really allowed me to listen to the people in my life, actually hear their sound, like as opposed to thinking about what they're saying. So that's been quite interesting. And yeah, I just want to say thanks. This has been a great experience. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
It's been good.
Yeah. Thank you, Ibrahim. Yeah, and shout out and thank you for also finishing the application before we even doing this. I noticed, yeah.
Oh, no worries.
Thank you. If you don't have any question or comments, that's okay too. But if you have, then also ask anything.
I guess
Yeah.
I'll maybe just comment on a little when you say you progressively feel worse. Of course, now that's kind of just like a story, and you really shouldn't judge your sit, your progress based on how good or how bad you think a sit is, positive or negative. We tend to only think that good sits are positive, but we've been saying resting can feel like shit. It's
Mm.
an entire exertion, right? And sometimes you need to hold that tension. It doesn't always feel good. And there's something that is completely untouched, right? Completely untouched, whether or not you have a good sit or bad sit, whatever experience you have, whatever genres you have. It's almost like we're making all this maneuver, but the ultimate maneuver of resting and recognizing merging is one is not a maneuver, actually. All these different maneuvers are just a way for you to kind of step back and tap into that, which is not apart from any of the bad or goods and conditionings, afflictions, but nothing can touch it.
Yeah.
Like Jace also said, like one, even if she fucks up today, that's one tiny little moment, right, of this vastness. So
Yeah.
sometimes we're too hard on ourselves, right?
It's true. Like in the sit, it feels like I'm battling with myself. But outside the sit in my life, I feel the benefits. You know, when I'm not trying so hard, you know, it's flowing.
Even if you don't flow, even if you have a shitty day,
Yeah. Yeah. Gotta
because
get more
there's the
used to
rest and
that.
recognizing still going on. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it has helped me see that split in my mind a lot clearer. I guess unconsciously it's like I use the spirituality as like a advanced self-hate, you know, to avoid myself. But yeah, but it
I
will
think that's most people.
yeah.
Not all the time, but I'm sure most people at some point use spirituality as a crutch.
Mm. But it's
But
a
once you
blessing.
recognize that, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a blessing to do that, right?
Self-hate's a blessing. But yeah, thank you for the reflection. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, once again, we're joined by Jordan. Oh, Albert, I think you weren't here yesterday, but Jordan was sharing that he bought the book, applied it, and his back pain is lessened from your recommendation.
Yeah, Dr.
It's
Sono's a real bodhisattva, man.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful man. Not alive anymore, but a real beautiful book. I'm glad you're benefiting, Jordan. It's good to hear.
But yeah, I really appreciate your recommendation about that. That's been helping a lot. Like I felt like pretty great today. Like which yeah, I couldn't even sit the first 2 days. So uh anyways, I just wanted to make a couple comments about the sit. I really like the introduction or the warm up. For me it was like really relaxing at the beginning, and then it was like I thought it was pretty funny, just saying oh, and relatable to say like oh, why did I have to be put last? Why would they make me go last and stuff like that? But uh, for it wasn't relaxation; it was rest. For resting, my first thoughts were oh, it's all about letting go of control and effort. But I had an insight when I sort of meditating on that and what resting is. It's basically it's putting as little effort as you can to keep yourself from putting in any effort. So if you can ideally not put any effort into not giving any effort, that's great. But it's sort of minimizing the amount of effort you need to not put out any effort. So, well, that having that sort of understanding helped me to notice how I've been trying to control which emotions I've been feeling without, and then I'll deny it and not even realize I did it. But then just just noticing things and being able to just find a way of putting a little bit of effort into not putting any effort into controlling the way things are. That's how I was able to relax. That's sort of my. I feel like I have a bit of a deeper understanding into relaxation after this sit, and I appreciate it. And I just wanted to make those comments. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thanks, Jordan. I have a little bit of reflection on that. I think it's it's great that you're finally seeing like this relationship between effort and effortlessness. Yeah. Um, but also ultimately it's not even about effort or effortlessness. The cycles of sometimes you have put into effort, sometimes it's effortless. But when we talk about resting and recognizing, again, I think when you said, "Oh, I can finally relax," the relaxation is just a byproduct of resting and recognizing. You can play around with the spectrum of recognition, the spectrum of how wide or how narrow your aperture is, the aperture of attention, or how much effort you put into resting. But ultimately, all these maneuvers are just part of recognizing what is beyond even effort and effortlessness. Relaxation, chaos, not a state, but includes all the states. Does that make sense?
I'm I don't know if I caught everything that you said. I don't know. It seems like I don't know if you're still talking about relaxation, but it feels like you're talking about something else. Or not relaxation or rest. Like
I'm talking about rest. I'm talking
you're
about rest.
you're
I
talking
am
about
talking about
rest.
rest.
Okay. Okay. Maybe I'll have to rewatch what you said and sort of try to understand it. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I didn't get everything you said, but uh, I think it's something I need to maybe some more time on. And I haven't really put much attention on what rest is, and but I think I just maybe need more time to go
Yeah.
over it and like really understand it.
Just putting more reps. It's not something you can think
Yeah, yeah,
through actually. Even
I
right.
something
think
you can
Yeah,
like
do or not do to get to. Yeah.
yeah,
like you were saying yesterday, right, Jordan, is that the word or the term fixation is something quite new to you? Is that you
yeah,
unfamiliar with?
yeah.
This is exactly that, right? Like the resting, the fixation on this, what this it has, it must be like this. It must be effort or it must be effortless. Like
Oh,
the
okay,
fixation, trying to reduce reality in just to one option that you can box in, but then you can't do that effectively, right?
okay,
When you try
okay.
like doing that. So I guess like Frank is talking about this flexibility or this fluidness to be able to move in between reference points, in between like sometimes effortful, sometimes effortless, and sometimes it's just the right, well calibrated amount of effort is what you need. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I had fixated that rest as being
Mhm.
like I defined it as being limiting effort or like lowering effort to zero. But
Yeah.
that's not what rest is. If you like it's not like I defined it as something, but that's not actually what it is, right? Like it's not the definition
But
that I gave it.
it's not apart from what it is. It's not apart from what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Yeah. Because
yeah,
what we're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about with the realization, with rest and recognize is categorically distinct than
Yeah,
the duality of effort and effortlessness. Like non-conceptuality is not the opposite of conceptuality.
right. Yeah.
It's that which includes but transcends both conceptuality and non-conceptuality, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
something
pretty sure.
completely beyond anything you can categorize, but all the categorization are okay as well. All the flexibility of beingness, right? We're kind of talking about the relationship between being and presence.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like a completely different thing. It's
Beingness.
not like the opposite, like
Yeah, but then
conceptuality and
even to
non.
say it's a completely different thing, even to say that it's a completely different thing, it's very easy for the mind to just make into something else. So this is the kind of the review refinement territory. it's not apart from being so aggregations or afflictions. But just because it's not a part doesn't mean nothing can touch what you truly are. Is what I'm saying. It's not a part, but it can't. Nothing can truly touch it. It's like everything's interpenetrating, but nothing's touching, kind of feeling. It's not like here or like here. It's like it doesn't have a location. But it's not apart from the appearances. It's if you can get that, you realize you don't have to be here. So don't worry about
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I know. That's really tricky because you're putting up like
It's not a mind thing.
divisions.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, there's conceptuality, and then there's like, oh, just like my senses, and you're like putting borders between things. But yeah, it's hard to understand everything without separating things. So, that's something I'll have to work on.
And I also hope to see you tomorrow at the review, Jordan. That's at 10 a.m. By the way, can you show us your shirt? Is that a
Oh, my
Sasquatch?
shirt? Oh no, this is I don't know, True
Oh,
Religion.
cool.
It's like a brand.
Oh, is
It's
that the
Buddha.
laughing Buddha?
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
laughing
I
Buddha
guess
playing
I
guitar.
haven't really actually looked at it before. I guess it's like a Buddha guy with a guitar. I don't know. I don't
I think
really pay attention to what I wear. My girlfriend just picks out stuff.
that's Maitreya. Yeah, that's the laughing Buddha. The one of the uh representation of Maitreya,
Okay.
future Buddha, so to speak. All right, thank you, Jordan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jordan.
Yeah.
There is some. I really want to also have Albert Han to share or ask, comment or anything, because he's been raising his hand multiple days, but we haven't got time to it.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Hey,
It's been a while.
Hey.
I think I was part of the group 2 years ago. Was that it?
I think it was like a year and a half ago. Yeah.
Year and a half. Yeah, the transmissions this week have been great. It's good to see you guys again. Um, just to make a long story short, I joined your group, I guess, that time ago, which was quite synchronistic because it was about a year after I had like a Kensho, like my first sort of like seal breaking thing. And then I was like sick for a year and I had so much like solidity in my head. And sometimes it felt like just a thick, dull helmet. And I was just like trying to figure out how to work with all that. And it was really confusing. And it was hell. It was basically hell for a year. And then I joined your guys' this group and I remember one of the like peak experiences or moments was getting a transmission from Mei Chang and super vast, going all directions with like one little speck left, but it was just holding on. And then after that, I just kind of went back to normal life and I was like, fuck this shit. Like, I just want to focus on my career and just be a normal person. And like, yeah, of course, I meditated and lived my life and try to do that. But in the last month and a half, this shit came knocking back on my door, man.
Job's
And it's
not
very
finished.
synchronistic that I joined this with you guys. And yeah, for the last month and a half, like it's been those sits where I just 5-6 hours go by. I'm like, fuck, I have to like work and like get ready for because I'm going on tour again in the new year. I'm like, oh my God, like this has to happen now. You know, but it's been beautiful. It's been beautiful because the insights and the cyclings, and it's just been like a roller coaster. And this has been very synchronistic. I just moved to Mexico City from Toronto in September, and I don't wake up at 6 in the morning. It's very hard to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like the obscurations are very like present when I wake up, you know. I think my mind like automatically kind of goes into like, okay, let's dissect this experience. Like, let's what's going on right now. And I feel like in the mornings, I feel like the most like normie, like the most like solidified in that sense, where all like the thoughts and everything is very identified with, kind of. So the transmissions have been very powerful to like kind of get me going for the day.
Yep.
And
That's the abnormie state, bro.
that's the way.
That's the abnormie state, bro. You think that's the normie state, but it's actually
Yeah,
the abnormie state.
exactly.
But it's it's relative.
Yeah,
I'm just kind of making
yeah.
a point. Yeah. But what do you do? Like
Yeah,
you
I know
perform?
what you mean.
You're a musician? You're a musician or what?
Yeah.
You say you go on
I don't
tour?
know if you recognize my name, but I go by Silo, and I've been messaging you on Instagram for when I was trying to get
Oh,
into the
okay. Yeah,
cohort.
I recognize you.
Yeah.
I also last time we talked, you were saying that you have a tiny desk coming up, and I checked that when it released as well. I was refreshing it.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that was last October. I did the tiny desk, and yeah, that was cool.
Very cool.
All this is so fucking funny of just like why I got into music, why I did everything from such different circumstances as to like what it means to me now. It's like I don't know. It's not different, but it's different. You know what I mean? Like it's strange. It's very strange. But I feel like the theme for what I've been going through for the last month and a half has been like all in my gut. And I always felt like the solidity in my head and like what I was feeling, all the discomfort in my gut was like kind of separate. But I've been finding that the deeper and the more sort of like courageously I go down into my gut and I process that, then sort of the solidity starts opening up and it's getting more looser and it starts getting more like liquidy, I would say. Like it just starts moving around. It's not as like dense. And I've just been doing that over and over and over. And like, you know, I died a couple of times in the last month and a half, and that's been great. And I feel like doing this cohort, this public practice was like in line with that. Each transmission kind of like brought me into a new space. And then today being the last one, like, I don't know if I want to say I reached the bottom in a sense, but like, I feel like when I go down there now, it's like this deep cavern, dark cavern, and it feels very like mysterious. Like it just feels like it just this infinite abyss that goes down deep down. It's very dark. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know, like, and it's also weird because it's like my whole mode of practicing was like, okay, let's go down there. And it's like now what? I don't really know. You know, and I still feel a little bit of solidity, but it's like it's very moving, it's very liquidy, and sometimes it's almost nothing, and everything is very like close. Everything is very close. The sounds, everything is very close. And I don't know. I don't really know what to do. But then other times, like throughout the day when I'm working, when I'm doing my stuff, like I feel like I'm being meditated instead of being the meditator. And sometimes I feel like I'm sort of being rewarded in a way. Like yesterday, I got my I got a tattoo yesterday, and it felt like I was on Molly, to be honest. Like I just felt so melty. I felt so good. I felt so loving. And like I was just like, oh, I don't need to do anything. And it's just like those kind of insights where it's like, oh, I'd never had to do anything. I just have to rest in this. And then I get some thoughts start picking up, I get identified again, and then the whole cycle starts over and over and over. I'm like, when's this shit gonna end, bro? Like I just wanna
Well, like
I guess it's
why
a
I just want to finish this, whatever this is. I just want to finish it, you know. Like I just want to
What if I
live my
tell you,
life. I just
when
want
this
back
shit
to
is never
chopping
gonna
wood.
end?
yeah.
What if
That's
I
the
tell you
point of
that
today's session. That it's not
this shit is
that
never
is a
gonna end?
long ass
Yeah,
journey. Speaking of that, I just
There,
want to do a quick time
there's
check
yeah,
because there's one more Ramon. This yeah.
Hmm.
there's no last spec.
That's what I'm stuck on for sure. I know. It's so hard to like let go of that thought of just like I'm stuck. There's this thing in my fucking head. I need to get rid of it. Like my relationship to it has definitely like become way more neutral about it. Like before, when I was seeing you guys a year and a half ago, it was like I was obsessed. I was just like, what is this shit? What is this shit? But now it's like, okay, it's there, it's not there, I don't really care. And then other times it's like, oh, it's still there, you know, like I cycle between that as well.
It's great. It's just
And
like I
I'm
say,
just,
congratulate yourself. Then you'll have like
Yeah.
additional weights to lift compared to other people.
yeah,
It's almost like you have to shift the sort of relationship. Yeah.
yeah, that's it for sure. It's all about my relationship to whatever the experience is, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the desire of either wanting or not wanting the experience to be any certain kind of way. Like even going back down into the gut is the same patterning of trying to dissolve it in the head. Now it's
Yeah.
trying to dissolve it in the gut.
Mm-hmm.
It's the recognition of that very desire.
Definitely. My mind definitely been like, okay, let's just see what's here right now
I
and just
mean,
chill with it,
that's what we mean by there is four big categories of transformation that we gun for, right? Purification is not the same as realization. Sometimes we don't see a difference. So then we are in the process of purifying, which is like being more embodied in the gut and maybe be less heady, which is very beneficial because then we can dissolve certain conditionings or repattern
Yeah.
conditionings. But that's not realization.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying not to get into that trap.
When we mistake those two, yeah, then it becomes like,
Mhm.
oh my God, when it's gonna end? I'm just gonna keep but the realization side of it is like, oh, just instantly nothing to purify.
Yeah.
Impure and pure can coexist in that way. And then
It's so hard though, because
yeah. So this
it
aspect of
feels like this is going somewhere. So it's like it's very tricky, you know. It just always feels like I'm stuck one moment and then it's always going somewhere and it's going deeper and it's going more vast and it's becoming more intimate and then it's becoming more disassociative and it's just like this bouncing back and forth and I'm like I just feel like I'm on a roller coaster in a sense, you know.
that's why I think like this the view refinement, the realization aspect of it, within a bootcamp structure, the first 6 weeks is we just focus on stabilizing everyone. And then week 7, we going for the breakthrough with visualization. But even then, we go in very, very systematically. And this is where a lot of Taylor's material step in to ensure that, okay. And it's also like very personalized, right? It's like, okay, it's like there is the somatic side of it, which is like the thing in the head or the thing in the gut. But there is also a narrative around it. It could be self-hatred, it could be avoidance, it could be an escapist kind of mentality, it could be a nihilist. What is it for you personally? For me personally, what is it about? And there's also like an emotional pattern. Which type of emotion we refuse to feel? Is it embarrassment? Is it fear? Is it paranoia? Like, what is it about? But by that point, we have 6 weeks of noticing your pattern, right? And all these mentors here, all these instructors like Albert, Nikki, Ryan, Adrian, Frank, Jace, Tyson, they just spend the entire week just noticing you, just watching you, just watching you, watching you, watching you, and have meetings about it. Which is like, how do we systematically fuck this guy up in the best way possible? How do we
Yeah,
deconstruct the person?
definitely. I definitely need mentorship because I've, you know, done all this sort of like on my own and watching YouTube videos and stuff. And
Yeah.
I want to join this cohort, but it literally starts like the day I start tour. So I'm gonna have to probably join the next one after.
One part of the gift tomorrow, I'm not going to spoil the gift, but one of the part of the gift that I'm saying that tomorrow, if you guys showed up, you're eligible for the gift 100%. There's also one aspect I would say in the gift that will solve that problem for you, Albert. The timing aspect.
Okay. I'm
Maybe
excited to hear.
let's move on to Ramon.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
For the last. Thanks, Albert.
Thank you guys.
Hey, Ramon. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to share kind of how my sit was. Um, I think for me, this one was probably one of like my more difficult sits. Uh, I think also in a way it had to do with I got injured last night. Just I was skating and I kind of got like whiplash. So like going into the sit, I was kind of like in the beginning during your speech, I was thinking like, wow, how am I gonna do? Like my neck kind of hurts, and I was kind of thinking of like, is that what I'm gonna be focused on? Am I gonna be able to like let go or whatever it is during the sit? Um, and then yeah, just getting on that topic of like rest and relaxing and kind of like uh, just allowing everything to be felt um, was is a form of rest, right? By letting myself kind of feel all of these things. Um, and yeah, I think that was like really powerful for me during the sit. Just kind of like instead of, you know, maybe kind of like how Jordan had said, like instead of trying like maybe putting an effort to relax or like not relax or whatever amount of effort is needed, is just kind of just be in that moment with everything that you're feeling. But yeah, thank you all. It's been a great week, and yeah, I'm just happy to have to have had the opportunity to be part of this community and this group and share and listen and receive the transmissions. Thank you guys.
Here, Ramon.
Thank you.
Okay, so any concluding word, Jace?
No, I feel complete, so I didn't really feel like talking. But yeah, lots of love for you guys. And thanks for showing up for the whole week. Yeah.
Yeah. As we're seeing that there is still more question that's following in. We have limited time and we have a lot of people and we can't get through everything. In today's live stream, me, Frank, and Taylor would also take a look at all these questions again and maybe sequence it and answer some more. But overall, like that's what we mean by, can we imagine this is 1 week? You guys haven't met Mei Chang yet? I mean, Albert just mentioned that last year, like the one session transmission with Mei Chang would like that. Imagine that for 12 weeks. And all of us here will also be there with you guys. Because in the boot camp, we also train with you guys. It's not just like, oh, you guys go in the boot camp and nobody's there. No, like we also sit with you guys, just like we did just now. 12 weeks. So what's that going to be like? How's that going to be? All the details about joining and the structure and all that, we leave that for tomorrow as we come together and really see what is the actual boot camp is like. If this is 1 week, what is 12 week going to look like? So yeah, thank you guys so much for taking part in the training 5 days. And as part of the tradition, yeah, let's celebrate the effort tomorrow when we come together. As we usually do also in CC, this is that structure. We train for 5 days, and on Saturday we come and we chill with each other. So thank you guys so much, and we hope to see you tomorrow.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you. Good now.